Hey guys, welcome back to my ketogenic modified Atkins diet channel. So we are going to continue with introduction part number 5, and let's continue. Chapter 2, calories on Shabbos, the Sabbath Shabbat, don't count, and other lies. The joke goes, all Jewish holidays are the same. They tried to kill us. They failed. Let's eat. Hanukkah has its sizzling potato latkes, jelly donuts, and chocolate gout. Who likes that? As soon as Hanukkah is over, it's time for Chag Purim, with its hamantashen and an eat, drink until you pass out meal. On Pesach, we make sure that since we don't have chametz, we have luxurious cakes, cookies, treats, lest we miss out for a week. And we consume matzah in every conceivable way. Matzah brie, matzah meal, pancakes, matzah and butter, matzah and matzah. Shavuos comes with it, blintzes, cheesecake, and pastas. Of course, the custom is to stay up all night and learn. All the learning takes a lot of energy, and you guessed it, cakes, cookies, ice cream, and more. Rosh Hashanah and Sukkot come with dipping apples and challah into honey cake, sweet foods like tzimis, kugels, and more. The entire month is literally one heavy meal on top of the next. Our priorities have to change. You can eat delicious holiday foods prepared slightly differently that will cause you to lose weight instead of gaining weight. I promise your guest will never know the difference. Our recipes are not only traditional and delicious, they will burn fat instead of piling it on. Many people believe that calorie counting is the key to weight loss, so much so that their default weight loss plan is simply reduced to total calorie intake per day. Not only is this method oversimplified, it also does not work in long term. It doesn't work in the long run. Why? For most people, it is either unsustainable over time or the pounds just coming back, no matter how hard they try to stick to their plan. That's because calorie counting just doesn't work. Why? The previous chapter zeroed in the myth of calorie intake reduction for the weight loss. In this chapter, we will debunk all the facilities we are told about calories and focus on what matters instead. Let's start with this. Calories are only a single factor in malfunctional disease that is obesity. There's much larger factor at play, our hormones, which are responsible for regulating almost every function in our body, including body fat regulation. The biggest reason why low-calorie diets fail is simple. They are based on total calorie count, which does not provide a full picture of the type of food we are consuming. It is also completely disregards the role that multiplying, overlapping hormone systems have in the body weight regulation. Yes, it may be very well true that keeping track of your calorie intake is helpful to get an estimate of how much you're eating per day, but just a total number alone cannot be answer to weight loss. For one, not all types of foods are created equally in the terms of calories. While some foods give you more bang for your buck and are calorie friendly, other foods can be more nutritionate, dense, yet can be more taxing on the calorie budget. Here's a good example. An 8-piece chicken nugget meal from a local kosher shop that comes with a large portion of salt French fries has only 730 calories. If you follow the calorie reduction method, then the chicken nuggets meal is clearly the better choice. But is it the healthier choice? Not only is this method very misleading, it also works against your normal body programming. Why? Our hormones are responsible for signaling when we eat and how much we eat. Strictly adhering to a highly portion controlled diet that is designed to restrict your calorie intake leads to disordered eating. Having a restricted calorie budget per day can lead to unhealthy eating habits. as well. Anyone who follows a very strict calorie counting diet tends to cheat their ways through their cravings by skipping lunch to eat a red velvet cupcake, for example, or drinking soda as a treat for having extra calories left throughout the day. Not only is this counter initiative, it also leads to more buying tendency and cravings. Rigid calorie counting also tampers with body's natural hunger or fullness signals and can result in an unhealthy preoccupation with food, leading to orthorexia, compulsive exercising, and beginning. Some people begin to compensate with over-exercising if they feel they have exceeded their daily calorie intake. Regardless of whether you choose to starve yourself in the evenings or beat yourself in the gym, it's not healthy for your body nor your well-being. A better way to get in touch with your calorie needs is to ask yourself, if you're hungry. Our bodies give us plenty of signs to look for food and start eating. Physical symptoms of hunger can include obvious hunger pangs, stomach growling, and empty and howling feeling. They can also manifestly subtly in the form of energy loss, difficulties in concentration, of irritability. But what's more important than knowing when you're hungry is knowing which signals tell you when you're full. You know you are full if you feel good and satisfied without feeling like you're stuffed and about to barf, throw up. If you really listen to your body, you'll be surprised that you don't need to count calories to maintain a healthy weight. Because let's be real. Do you really want to be obsessively counting, tracking, and analyzing your food each time you eat? That takes away the pleasures of eating, doesn't it? Eating that way locks you into a mental prison, and you do not want to have an unhealthy obsession with food labels and making sure you check every label on each portion size for every meal you eat. This is what tends to happen the more you calculate your calories. The more you think about what you can eat, what you want to eat, and what you are allowed to eat, the brain reacts, concentrate by making up fake rules on what you can and cannot eat, looks for foods and low in calories without making you really think about the nutritional value. Therefore, it simply does not make sense to approach food from a mathematical standpoint. Your body is not a calculator that takes in food based on the calorie count and crunches up the results back on formulas. In addition, exercising such as a strong restraint causes you to focus on food even more, making you feel hungrier and want to binge. It really is a counter initiative from all angles, isn't it? If you really want to lose weight, you don't want to be thinking about food around the clock. But this is what happens when you're subject to your body's semi-starvation. It is simply the body's survival instinct to look for more food. Calories are not everything. Calories are basically a measure of how much energy a food contains. Yet this is much more to food than just calories. If you only look at calories as a lone measure of what you should be eating for breakfast, you should eat a bowl of cornflakes instead of a hearty bowl of Greek yogurt with berries. Even though the young yogurt and berries are higher in calories, they are also loaded with vitamins and minerals that are very good for you. So even if the breakfast bowl of yogurt and berries has a higher caloric content, it is still the better food choice. Bottom line is, it's wrong to think that a meal with a low caloric content is automatically healthy. Some food items may have very low calorie content, but also have no corresponding nutritional value. High quality calories come from foods that are rich in nutrients like leafy greens, avocados, nuts, chicken, eggs, and grass-fed beef. They may be rich in calories and fill you up very quickly, but they are loaded with healthy fats, proteins, and nutrients that will keep you full for a long time. They also trigger the release of hormones that tell your body to burn fat. If your diet is prominently based on the processed foods with added sugars and refined grains, you are eating very dense food that is not inherently satisfying. This will make you more likely to overeat because those foods are not filling. They also prompt your body to store fat. Even if you keep their consumption, these foods are not filling. Even if you keep their consumption at bay to adhere to your choice calorie requirement, their effect on your body will not entirely be positive. Your body just does not treat all calories the same way. Truth is, just because you are on a diet doesn't mean you should stay away from good piece of steak. You should not avoid your favorite high-calorie foods completely, otherwise you will have a constant cravings and stronger need to binge. The danger with calorie counting is what makes you perceive high-calorie foods that are off limits as more vulnerable, creating a fake sense of deprivation. Therefore, when you finally give in, you will feel guilty and out of control from eating your favorite foods, leading you to reckless abandon and eating uncontrollably. As long as you don't deprive yourself of foods you love, you are less likely to overeat them. In the end, it's all about the moderation. So here's something interesting. In a comprehensive study that looked into effectiveness of 3 types of diets, mainly low-fat, low-glycemic, and low-carb, the conclusion suggests that a low-carb diet is more effective than a low-fat diet. This is completely the opposite of what we've always been taught. Nutrition guidelines always recommend a low-calorie, low-fat diet. The big problem of this approach is when you focus on calories, you're likely to eat less fat since fatty foods contain more calories than protein. However, when you eat less fat, you're likely to eat more carbohydrates as your body is looking for an energy source. Do you see the problem in this? The body is naturally designed to burn calories from fats, not from carbs and proteins. Therefore, by observing a low-calorie diet, people who struggle with their weight are usually burning more calories from the breakdown of carbs and proteins, not fat. This means that they are burning a lot of calories, but they're not burning calories from stored by body fat. Reality is, it doesn't matter so much how much calorie you ate or burn. Only hormones will be able to regulate your metabolism. Unfortunately, we can't actively influence our hormones to focus more on our weight loss. We produce different types of hormones such as cortisol, adrenaline, insulin, and glucagon. Some hormones burn fats, while some hormones store fats and other triggers our bodies to burn carbs and protein. These hormones are triggered by our diet and our stress levels. Too much stress can lead to an overproduction cortisol and adrenaline, which can trigger your body to burn carbs and proteins instead of fats. Our diets can also influence hormone production. If you eat large amount of carbs, you produce more insulin, which stores fat, whereas protein consumption produces glucagon, the hormone that is responsible for burning fat. If you still have not gotten it yet, what you can eat is even more important than how many calories you eat. One very simple way to tell if you are burning carbs instead of fats, if you're struggling with cravings, low blood sugar, irritability, lack of focus, mid-afternoon slumps, insomnia, and disorder eating throughout the day. If you're eating healthy, your body's functioning more optimally and you're less likely to feel mood fluctuations. Once again, if you use calorie counting as a diet strategy, it will almost lead to failure. Why? Starving yourself can slow down your metabolism, and as a result, it makes you burn muscle instead of fat. Another big fallacy many people believe is that burning calories leads to burning the fat around our waist and bottoms. Unfortunately, it is not as simple as this. The body burns calories from either fats, carbohydrates, or muscles, and starvation can lead to a loss of muscles and daily energy instead of fat loss. Yet the bigger problem is not in what you burn, but what happens after the diet. Once you start eating normally again, after a period of following a calorie-restricted diet, you'll gain back more weight as your metabolism is alerted. It's time to stop counting now and focus more on what matters. Okay, guys, so right now I'm going to film part 2. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you liked this part of the video. And I'm out. Peace.